possible Blurcast. But we're here in the new Studio B talking about Star Wars once again. And with me, as per usual, I have a whole bunch of nerds.
Yeah, we're nerds.
Nerds.
I agree.
Nerds!
Accepted.
Rage Quit Hero, CPU Jockey to my right. Behind me, we have Death Panda, Vox, and joining us for the first time, Jaws and Jones from Brine Gaming. Hey! Thanks for being here, guys.
Yay.
Oh my god.
And because this is take 2, I actually got the shit right.
Yes.
Way to be!
You YouTube guys, be careful with your stream keys. That's all I'm saying.
Just, stuff to pay attention to, buttons to click, things to do online. And today, because of the imminent awakening of the Force, come December 17th, we are
Just
once
about a
again
month from now.
couch surfing to a galaxy far away, long ago, and trying to figure out what the fuck is waking up.
Uranus.
No, my anus is usually awake. Even if I'm not awake, my anus will be awake.
Good.
It has its own wakefulness. So last week, guys, we established which sides of the Force we would choose. The Rage Quit Hero picked Sith. I picked Jedi. Karen picked Jedi. What up? And Vox picked Gray Jedi, like in the middle. So where do you guys feel like you fall?
I don't know. I kind of feel like I would have enjoyed hanging out with those cycle robots that the
The droidicas?
the droidkas that were so. I feel
The
like I want to
roly-poly
ride around
ones?
inside one of those. So I'd join up just for that purpose.
Silver, bring me into battle. Rolling,
And I mean, even if it wouldn't succeed, I mean, shooting Jar Jar isn't one of the worst things I could do with my day. So,
Yes, especially. Nobody actually managed to shoot Jar Jar, which was one of the disappointments I felt of the series.
I mean, I know no one succeeded. So, I mean, at least taking a few cracks at it.
Yeah.
You know that there's a Sith Lord out there that has wanted to choke the shit out of him from a distance. And
He's
be
just like, when I find you. Can you imagine the embarrassment, like if Jar Jar just snuck his way into one of the original trilogy episodes, like, Vader, what's up, man? I haven't seen you in years. This is so happy to see you, little Eddie. You're so grown.
Dude, you know that Vader would just totally shut his ass down. He's not Anakin anymore. His level of giving a fuck went right out the fucking door as soon as he put on that helmet.
Maybe calling a little boy Annie for most of his lifetime probably wasn't the healthiest for his mindset either.
That might have been the straw that broke the camel's back when he went to the dark side.
The man they called Jane, and his brother, who they called Annie. So yeah, Anakin obviously has crossed the line. So clearly there's no distinct definition of what is innately a Sith or what is innately a Jedi. The two categories are sects of religion, and that's how they are organized, and they gather for worship and meditation, and praise this being called the Force, and either accentuate one side or the other. And Anakin obviously was found by Qui-Gon, and Qui-Gon Jinn happens to be a Jedi, so his initial experience with Force interaction was under the tutelage of the light side users, which gives him a predisposition and certain assumptions about how this energy works and how it flows through him.
It's time to drop a theological bomb on us there.
Whoa.
So, I don't know. I feel like when it was the influence of going through young adulthood and trying to be all proper and adult, but at the same time, it's like Yoda said, he was too old when he started the training for the ideology to really brainwash him.
So to never see his family again. wear the same clothes as the rest of these clowns.
Yeah. Well, and Jedi are
drinking funny Kool-Aid.
Yeah, Jedi don't own anything except the clothes on their back and their lightsaber.
That's true. And they're selfless as shit, too.
Yeah, they don't own land. They've just had the temples for thousands of years, and that's just where they live. They don't even own the spaceships they use when they go to war. That's just supplied by the army, When you sign up for the army, they give you boots and a gun and a barracks to sleep in. And when you sign up for the Jedi, they give you a lightsaber and they give you robes, and they're like, yeah, go swish it around. Be special.
I mean, to be fair, the amount of funding and support they get throughout the entire process basically makes it so they don't have to want for anything. Pretty much. But it isn't personally theirs.
Do you think they tithe?
True. Huh?
Do you think they tithe? Are they dependent on donations?
Oh, hell no, man.
No, they're directly funded. Because the thing is that the funding that the Jedi get is directly through, well, at least in the prequel style, it was funded directly through the Republic Senate. The war funds also funded what the Jedi actions were because they were all considered generals on the battlefront. That all the Jedi were technically already at the rank of general. They were commanders. They had
any
the
Jedi
ability.
Knight.
Yes. Sorry, Padawans were not, while they were respected, they did not have the ability to give demands to any of the soldiers because they weren't ready for that kind of responsibility. But yeah, like, they, during the animated series, or the Clone Wars series, Obi-Wan is able to make an large amount of
our forces are taking destruction.
As he's posing as a mercenary, and it's just like, transfer me more credits. I need to buy a new ship. Transfer me more credits. My ship got destroyed. I need to buy another ship.
What did you do with the last ship I gave you?
I lost the keys, and rather
just
than
don't worry about it, guys. I just need another one.
The locksmith would take an hour. I can purchase a ship now. Like.
Oh.
But yeah, no. So I will say at least
fell
that
down. The keys fell down the grate. They fell down a grate. Just force lift the keys out. No, they got washed away by the sewage.
Yeah, while they personally don't get to keep it, they at least have the ability to access a majority of the things they need. But at the end of the day, it is true. They go home.
Hi, Torque.
Back with those robes, back with that lightsaber, and that is what they have.
Yeah.
Back to their community.
I'm going to cut you off and introduce Torque the cat over
Kitty.
next to Jones.
He has a lot to say.
For our video watchers and the people following our stream. If you're listening to this in audio, fuck you. You can't see the cat.
Oh.
Nah.
I hope you enjoy it anyway, though.
He's there in spirit.
Imagine a cat. I'm not going to tell you what color. Just imagine a cat.
You can make that cat any color you want.
Yeah, now that
Thanks, Bob Ross.
listeners can
Really?
honestly have any cat that they might want. Maybe not a cat that they don't want.
Just like I can have any color lightsaber that I want.
Yes.
Purple. No, I said orange last week. Jenny said purple.
I say purple.
You wanna
I would totally.
Samuel L. Jackson purple lightsaber?
Yeah. That's the coolest one.
I'm still standing by as the gray Jedi with the hot pink lightsaber.
The hot pink.
Dude.
Like flamboyant. Like
it's
when
light
you get
red.
Yeah, no, it is a combination of white and red. It is like the manliest combination.
Whoa.
Or
Wow.
candy striped. Could you do that?
Oh my god. It would be festive. Like every
Barbershop.
The new Star Wars movie is coming out at Christmas.
In the universe.
It's like why do all of his attacks vaguely smell of peppermint?
Their lightsabers were really
Those are
powered
some
by Jolly
motivated
Ranchers.
soldiers, though. A good smell can send you into battle.
It's aromatherapy. Really.
I don't know how.
Yeah, but you
I
have like
do not know how
PTSD from
peppermint
that
and seared
shit.
flesh smells.
Every time you narrowly live past getting an arm ripped off by a peppermint scented lightsaber, and you go to Earth or something years later or something, just smell peppermint and just start.
Yeah, and you just
you just see like kids like I'll break mine in half, just like he starts panicking.
Oh, that's terrible, guys. We're all going to hell. You know that?
Could you have a hooked lightsaber? Would it be curved? Would it be curved up at the top? Like
they have pills for
because
that.
Kylo Ren has the crosshaber. Can you have a curved one?
Well, like are you talking about like having a U-shaped hilt?
No, like an actual, not the hilt, like the actual blade.
The hilt,
it's like
the
limp.
blade itself having it.
Yeah, that would be. The cross hilt. I think wasn't it explained that there were 2 smaller microcrystals that fracked it out.
No, it's actually
sides?
the same crystal with additional lenses.
That's right.
Vents on the side.
Yes.
And it's a less refined beam as the top
if you actually notice
as
it
the main
wavers.
blade. Kylo Ren's blade in general is definitely shaky. Like he doesn't have the proper focus on the blade to keep it.
How do you know this shit? The movie isn't even out yet, dude.
Because I've watched the trailer
his
like
fucking
30
lightsaber's got
times.
Parkinson's.
And there's already been a massive explanation as
Michael
to
J.
what
Fox
focusing
saber.
crystals and how they're refined
God.
cause effects. Like the pulsating energy causes a vibration that can throw off a person's grip when they are fighting another person as well.
So I wonder if you could actually focus it at enough that it was solid, even and non-fluctuating, but also curved. And I'm sure that would just be a matter of grinding your lens differently, because you're just refracting the light at a slightly
curve along the whole thing, but not
so it would be
like
more
straight and then
like a katana rather than just a fucking candy cane.
You aren't gonna get your candy cane, but you might be able to get a katana.
A peppermint katana.
Forgive my ignorance.
Peppermint slash.
I still remember a long time ago hearing that
a long time ago
that the color of your lightsaber was somehow indicative of your use of the Force or your personal
the energy
Force.
The energy that you channel as you activate the crystal, I guess. Because when you not when you how you activate it, when you find the crystal. Because you have to go. It's essentially a vision quest, and it's the coming of age rite of a Jedi Padawan is getting their lightsaber. And there's only specific planets that grow the crystals that are attuned to the Force, and will call. You only have a set wavelength that you attune to the Force. So when you're finding the crystals, your emotions at the time, your experiences.
So you're saying it's meaningful.
Yeah,
it actually is beyond.
Yeah,
and that's
the rumor going around when I was a kid was that the color of your lightsaber had something to do with like whether you were more of a medic in spirit or whether you were more of a warrior in spirit.
Yeah,
and some people tried to prove that by picking.
Well, actually, and during the Padawan episode that they have in the Clone Wars series as well, if you pay attention to the Padawans and what colors they get, the ones that are significantly more just like straightforward action, they do it, they don't think about it, they come out of that place with all blue lightsabers, and all the ones that had thought quest ones where they actually had to use their mind, they all came out with green. I think, and this is just my personal input on the matter, I think it tends to be more like if you were just to view it at the base of just the blue and the green, just using the 2 base colors that you typically walk away with when it comes to Jedi. It is that the blue is the people who are more strong of body and just the flat will to take action, whereas green are the ones that have a stronger and are more sound of mind, where they have that higher intelligence, the ability to analyze and interpret a situation.
And that would also explain the difference between Luke in 4 and Luke in 6.
Yeah,
because in 4 he had blue. And
yes,
well,
Well, he also had
New
fucking
Hope,
Obi-Wan
he just-
or no, it was Anakin's actual lightsaber.
It's actually
it was
Anakin's saber.
Anakin's saber.
It's the one that Obi-Wan takes from him after
when
dismembering
he leaves
him
hot-
and leaving him on fire next to a river of lava.
It sounds better when you say hot on the dance floor.
That's so fucked up, dude. Come on now.
This boy is on fire.
Oh, we're gonna
soon?
piss a lot of people off tonight. You know,
Purveyor of bad puns. That is my personal part in this.
we're gonna have to put trigger warnings on this dude. Come on.
Oh gosh.
Well, we already have to for the peppermint lightsabers.
Shit.
Seared flesh and candy canes, exactly like Christmas.
That's what we're gonna call this episode. By the way,
Yes.
is peppermint lightsabers because it's
So
too
we're
perfect.
clear on
Um,
how this goes.
Yeah, so in the original series, episodes 4, 5, 6, the lightsabers aren't as colorful. Actually, they're actually more white in the center, and then it's just kind of a tinge of color on the outside. And that's because in the original artwork, the what's the word I'm looking for? Concept art that was drawn up. Lightsabers weren't part of the original lore that Lucas came up with, and it was the concept artwork.
Yeah, and every stormtrooper had a lightsaber. I
Yeah.
remember seeing that shit too.
And they were all white. They were just a white beam, and it wasn't the thin blade. It was more like a flamethrower, so it's kind of like a wide base, and it was almost Christmas tree shaped. And then it
boy.
comes to a point, and it was
War on Christmas.
No.
the Star Wars on Christmas. And it wasn't until Lucas decided to incorporate that into the Jedi mythology that they had colors, blue and red, and one being the light side, one being the dark side. But you can also get different variations, and so it depends on which aspect of the Force you really believe in. And so the Force is actually like a deity. It's what they really view as being the thing that holds the universe together. It is their version of God. And so when they're using that Force, it's their
Philosophy?
yeah. Well, it's their
The thing
Exercising-
that they use to channel the divine powers of.
yeah, like it's like a divine meditation. So the quote from Obi-Wan in the original, it surrounds everything, penetrates everything, and binds the galaxy together. And of course, penetrates everything.
Giggity.
Yeah, there we go. Even at 7, when I watched that the first time, I was like, yeah, he said penetrates.
Penetration.
So he's actually describing the at least 3 different aspects of the Force. And this is like, you can have different sects within sects between Jedi. Even in just the different, like, so you can have Orthodox Jedi. You could have
Conservative Jedi.
Conservative Jedi.
Reform Jedi.
You could have Protestant Jedi.
Jedi. No, that'd be the Sith.
But only because we said it at the same time.
Oh, you
No,
even
the
have,
Sith.
like,
The Sith would be
converts,
the
too.
Westboro Baptist Jedi.
No.
No,
No, man, the Sith was...
that's
You
that,
as
no,
someone who
that's
just
even-
admitted they would side with the Sith. You can't just throw them into that cage.
No, see, the
they
Sith
don't,
are
they
evil,
don't
but not
even
that
deserve,
evil.
So.
They do not deserve that title.
The way I see the Sith, right, is it's like Judaism. It was the foundation. And then there came Christianity and Islam from it. So maybe that's what the Jedi Order is like.
Well, yeah. So
Those freedom fighters like John McCain.
Yeah.
the Force the cosmic force and people's awareness of it came from this conference in the year 35 blah 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 BBY. So 35,000 years before the Battle of Yavin, there was this conference between learned people, and they're all gathered on this one planet, and then they all have an epiphany at the same moment. They're like, holy shit, it's this force business. Because they were alien and they couldn't speak properly.
Like Twi'leks or You know, it always scared me how Jabba talked. Like,
I think it scared a lot of people.
yeah, well, yeah, Jabba's a very bad space slug.
I think the Hutt language is way better than the Dune language from Doctor Who.
Oh, well, I mean...
Oh no, convo, fo, ro, ho, mo, go, no, whoa.
Wait, what?
I mean...
Well, I forget.
Homo no go?
Isn't there
What?
actually like able to be read for a decent amount of words? Essentially, a dictionary for the Hutt language. Like they actually have a created language. It's not just sounds they're making.
Much like
that they apply subtitles.
Much like
to.
Klingon.
Much like Klingon.
Well, and actually, same thing for Dova, the dragon
Vulcan.
language
You can
in
speak
Skyrim.
Vulcan.
Skyrim's dragon language also has a full, like it covers
Fuss
a
road,
good amount of.
Yeah, well, Tolkien also went full retard and made his own language
yeah,
too.
you
Yep.
could
and
create most.
you can
base
speak Elvish.
sentences.
There are college courses that will teach you how to speak Elvish.
I remember a dude in high school who used to speak Elvish.
Yes.
And he used to go around wearing a fucking...
Fucking Chaz
oh, God.
and Kathy.
I miss Chaz. I miss both of them. They're funny people.
Yeah, and Nick Veman, shout out to Nick Veman for speaking Elvish. That kid was cool as shit in high school.
We miss you, bro. Never forget.
Ben Hain did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we were in history class together, and he wrote a poem in Elvish.
Ben did everything.
Well, yeah, Ben did everything.
So there you go.
Except he was like
Did he-
6'5" and really broad and didn't play sports, so...
Did he have an Elvish cloak?
I don't think so.
No, but I wouldn't have put it past him to wear one. He was a theater major.
Yep.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. That's how I knew all these people.
Except I wasn't part of that group. I was on the outside going, ha ha, fuckers!
But as you were saying, even with the separate sects, even just within the Jedi and everything, and then you also have groups like the Followers of Revan, which essentially at its base form is the people that walk they walk both paths. They don't try to mix it in the middle. They literally walk both paths of light side and dark side and experience both.
Oh,
Yeah.
so like a true
So,
neutral?
Gray Jedi is more of a misnomer. It's more like Yin Yang Jedi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the Grey Jedi will swap sides to whatever side of the Force is actually weaker at that point in time. They will aid the side that is most out of balance.
Oh, that's like the old Native American proverb. There are like two wolves inside of you. One is love and one is hate. And the only one that that manifests is the one you feed. I forget. That's something like that.
And essentially, the Grey Jedi, their role in the galaxy is to keep both of them equally fed. Is that they keep that balance and chaos at equal levels, so that way there is true progression. Because if one side were to take over all, it would really send everything out of whack, and that's what they follow behind.
And this is where we get to the prophecy. We talked about this last week. The prophecy of the Chosen One who will bring balance to the Force, and why the fuck the Jedi fucked up in thinking, oh great, he's gonna come help us. No, fuckers. You already have all the shit. There are only 2 Sith left. You dudes need to be kept in check. And that's how... and so basically, Anakin's whole emo shit really just comes from the Jedi trying to force him to use the light side when really he should be using the dark side to help maintain the balance.
Welcome to pun cast.
Well,
it's funny because as for the Chosen One bit in the Clone Wars series, they go a little bit more in depth into that, and it's not even that he's supposed to be with the Jedi or the Sith. Is that there's the he is a Force wielder, and Force wielders are the ones that are the most powerfully attuned with the Force,
Right.
to the point that they try to stab him with a lightsaber, he grabs the lightsaber. Like, he physically grabs it because his connection with the Force is so strong that he cannot be cut by it, and forces it to be shut off. And what it is that the whole prophecy with the Chosen One was that Anakin was supposed to keep in control, which are the pure manifestations of the dark side and the light side, which are two children. And he was supposed to try to keep them in control and essentially replace this old man because he knew he was going to die soon. In the series, things take a different turn than that. Obviously, because he still becomes Vader in the end, he doesn't separate himself from the galaxy. I won't spoil anything there because I thought that little bit was actually quite exciting in the show. But yeah, no, as for the Chosen One, it's funny how many different iterations of the prophecy for the Chosen One actually exist.
Yeah, it goes on like
Star
once
Wars
every
itself.
millennia, right? Like every millennia, they're always like, "Oh yeah, there's gonna be this chosen one."
Well, no, just even just for whoever is the Chosen One, the amount of different ways that it is prophesized that he is supposed to be doing things. It's like everyone has their own story for what the Chosen One will be doing. And it's everyone gets their say in, and then the Chosen One is on the side like... So, when did I sign up for any of this?
All right, well, let's talk about one of the video game characters then, because we're talking about the dark and the light side.
Yes.
Now, Kyle Katarn was a character that could walk both, even though he was supposed to be like a semi-sanctioned Jedi. So what's your guys' take all on that?
I mean, I think there's a much broader history than most people are aware of Force users who are outside of either the Jedi or the Sith order. Because there's four different like ideologies of the Force in general. Like, it's not just everyone has this one image of God. It's like you can break it down. So, we were saying that there would be different factions of the Jedi as matching them to different factions of Christianity. But then, there's also Hinduism and Buddhism and Islam and Judaism. So there's the living Force, people who believe that the Force is only tied to actual living beings, plants and animals, and even microbes and like tiny little things, and that the whatchamacallums, the platelets.
Midichlorians?
That's the one. I was gonna say mitochondria because that's the
Powerhouse.
thing.
Yeah, you said that last time too.
Yeah.
What the hell?
And I actually found like a fuck bunch of other people online who are like, yeah, it's basically like magic mitochondria, and that's midichlorians. It even sounds really, really similar. But yeah, that the midichlorians are specifically attracted to life force in living beings, and that's how you can have a ghost of a living being is a Force ghost, where you see Obi-Wan come back to Anakin or to Luke, and
Haunt that motherfucker.
yeah, it's because it's like an echo of the living being, and Qui-Gon Jinn was a follower of the living Force, and then there's the cosmic Force, which is the life after death, and that there's this other living being that creates all life, and it uses the Force to create life, and it is like this just omnipotent, non-physical bubble kind of thing. And that's where everything returns to the Force when it dies. So that's Yoda's belief, is that there is like a non-entity God called the Force. And this is what allows people to have premonitions, because it exists through all of time. And so it, connects 2 points in time, and you all of a sudden, oh, I had a vision.
I wish I had visions.
Oi.
So the bigger thing that I guess I was trying to ask about, though, is part of the dichotomy of having a light and a dark side is seeing these Force abilities that are inherent to whatever alignment you are in the Force, like lightning and...
It comes from your emotions.
and all that good garbage.
And your emotions allow you control over the physical force, which is like when you use the telekinesis or levitation.
All the general force abilities.
The hypnosis, which is your Jedi mind trick of Republic credits will be fine. No, they fucking won't. Republic credits will be fine. No, what the fuck are you talking about? I just told you you can't pay me in credits. I need money, bitch. I'm Qui-Gon Jinn. I'll pay you with credit. No, you won't.
So, forgive me for derailing, but I mean, if your control over the Force is so much inherent rooted in your emotions,
right? What
if you're generally a good guy, but you're just really bitter about everything and grumpy all the time?
You're talking about Kyle Katarn right there.
Yeah.
Because he is pretty goddamn bitter. Like, and a lot of people like to equate him to being like a cantankerous version of like Chuck Norris. Because, he's a martial arts master and like this cowboy. But at the same time, too, man, when he gets pissed off, shit dies.
Yeah, and he was what? When he's first introduced, he's a mercenary.
Yep.
Hire. Like if you want to go back to some old games, Dark Forces, the old Doom shoot 'em up style 2D sprint across the map, find the hidden doors across the area, shoot stormtroopers. So many stormtroopers. But yes, his role in the series is literally just do these things that are morally ambiguous, try to help us out, and you are technically a good guy despite the fact that most of what you're doing is thieving, stealing, and in fact, quite literally murdering hordes of soldiers. And yeah, when it comes to the Force, it's... it's even a neutral line is
selflessness versus greed, compassion versus aggression. Those are, the polar ends of the emotions that will help you generate Force abilities. So yeah, if you're feeling particularly pissed off, you can probably channel Force lightning. And even Yoda can do it. When Yoda was fighting Count Dooku, he takes the lightning, he throws it right the fuck back. He's like, yeah, fuck you, bitch. And Count Dooku was Yoda's Padawan at one point. So he had to learn it from somewhere.
Yeah, but don't forget, he was also training under Palpatine, too.
Okay, that's a good point.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that when it comes to Yoda's ability, using the Force to essentially deflect and then reflect the blow back at him.
Yeah, he absorbs and then also
returns. Essentially, he makes himself a conduit and then redirects the flow of the energy. Not necessarily casting the Force lightning himself. But on a level, that is where the neutralness between the two is where that heavy amount of power comes into play, because one of the main characters from, they made it into two, it was based around 2 games, made it into the Old Republic, the MMO, It was one of the expansions, Revan. Revan, in the original series, was a Jedi, became the most powerful Sith in existence, has their memory wiped, trained by the Jedi again, and during all this time, you still have the ability to still be evil. But it's that whole thing of that you can walk one side, you can walk the Jedi path, you can walk the Sith path, you can walk the center, and have access to all the power.
Right.
And it balances out that, as you say, as the polar emotions affect what you can do, in the game they represent that by, if you are heavily focused on the light side, it costs you more energy, or force energy,
Right.
to use dark side abilities. That you are not
It drains you more.
attuned to them. But if you stay balanced in the neutral area, they both equally cost the same. And they represent Revan's path as the all-powerful because they do not seclude themselves from either side of the Force. They try to make them both work together to have the greatest amount.
Well,
of
that was Katarn's approach to the Force, because he's like, yeah, you can choke people and shit, but like,
Gotta get
honestly,
pissed off to do it, man.
But honestly, you know, these powers are not inherently good or evil. It's how you use them.
Yes, it is how you.
Because
use
you can
them.
use Force Lightning to like fucking like try to like juice up a device or something. Be like, oh, this lightsaber ain't working. Hold on a minute, boys.
Imagine this emergency field defibrillator. Zzz, clear.
Yeah. You know how awesome that would be in Battlefront?
Yeah, if
You're like Vader and you're like, oh, he's dead. Wait a minute. Poof!
Yeah, and then you've got things like the Force Unleashed, where you actually get an achievement as Vader in the first mission to kill as many stormtroopers you have to kill at least 10 stormtroopers as Vader, and you get the achievement worst day shift manager ever.
That's straight out of Chad Vader.
Yes, and that's exactly what they're
Night
referencing.
shift manager. Yes.
Oh man, I miss Chad Vader. Is that guy still doing videos?
They do still produce videos. I don't know if they're still doing the Chad Vader series, but they are still making videos. Which
That shit was beautiful.
Shout out to YouTube for creating awesome Star Wars spin-offs.
That made it back into the main Star Wars lines.
All right, we're going to go to a brief commercial break.
And now a word from our sponsors.
Yes.
Okay, I think it's playing in the background. What happened?
I
Oh,
just
playing
gotta
ad.
hold
There
this
we go.
position.
Yeah, so we just wait for it to stop saying play this ad.
Boop.
Sorry, guys.
Boop, boop, boop,
We love you,
boop,
but-
boop, 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 boop. Any points other people want to specifically bring up?
I mean,
Well, we're
from here on, where do we want to quickly progress
Thank you.
plot-wise? Like,
Are we
for
gonna
a
talk about
focus?
being kids and watching these things?
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, we could talk about our personal experiences with
Yeah.
Star Wars. I mean, all of mine heavily fall into the games.
and we're live again.
Hey, we're back.
Hey.
Long time no see.
Huh?
All right, everybody. What's your favorite Star Wars movie, and when did you see it?
Ooh, that is tough.
I really my particular favorite is probably The Empire Strikes Back. Because that's when Luke finds out Vader is his dad. And the revelation of that, the first time I watched the movie, I already knew. But just to be able to see the moment, and I've been led to believe that this is the most evil character in the known universe, and that everything he stands for is wrong, and he killed my father in battle, and therefore is the object of all of my hatred of the Empire. And then, search your feelings. You know it to be true. Yeah. Lucas actually made edits to the script so that or was that in the first one? I don't remember now. Anyway, Lucas had to edit the movie so that Yoda confirms that Vader was telling the truth, because otherwise people wouldn't believe him. They'd just be like, no, Vader's lying. He's full of shit. So you actually have to hear it from Yoda before it's completely confirmed to be, oh yeah, that guy, he's your dad.
Mm.
You came from his balls. Good job. So, let that sink in.
Nerds. I really liked Return of the Jedi, and I was probably like 6 when I first saw it. And I had no fucking idea what was going on. But I actually have to say that my favorite one, hands down. Like if you were gonna play like pants down games and be like, all right, which one's your favorite? So my favorite one's gonna have to be Episode 3.
Really?
And the only reason why I say it, right, is because it's a coming of age story of a man becoming an asshole.
Yep.
And it's nice to actually see what the whole rage was about, because you sit there, Episode 1 and 2, you're like, you're coming through this with the retrospective look of like, they keep saying this dude like Anakin was Darth Vader. Like, no, this kid's a fucking pussy whip piece of shit. Come on now. He's all pissed off and got acne. Like this is a tale of puberty, not a Sith Lord. And then you get to see him kill the younglings.
Is this microphone doing okay?
It's okay. It's okay.
All right.
Don't touch it. It'll make noises.
It's all like
noises. Yeah, it's okay.
It gets tired too.
Sorry.
Now.
Yeah, it needs a little bit of that little blue pill to pick it up. But so I digress. But so you get to see the man become the monster, and they do it in such a spectacular way that it's almost laughable. But I get to actually see for the first time like how bad like Anakin was right before he became Darth Vader. It was beautiful watching him just go slay those younglings and everything. I mean, it's awful, but I mean it's beautiful from the standpoint of being able to see the transformation.
The ability to see the fall.
Yeah, exactly. It's good to actually like see shit happen rather than hear about it.
And see Rome get torn down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, essentially.
So should we go around in a?
Yeah.
Just go in order.
Do you care to?
No, you go.
Okay. When we were initially discussing coming and joining you guys for this discussion, she immediately said, well, I don't really have any opinions about Star Wars.
Pre-warning.
Pre-warning. So I avoided Empire Strikes Back. I had the original trilogy when it came out on those VHS box sets.
Those are the best.
And it
The
wasn't
triple wide.
It wasn't the silver, it was the gold. And I remembered thanking my father so much for that, as arbitrary as that was. But I knew what happened in Empire Strikes Back, and as a kid, I didn't want to sit there and get kicked in the gut like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I watched New Hope, and then I watched Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
And when I watched Return of the Jedi, I really, really fell in love with that movie. Because now you've got, like, he's trying to fill into Obi-Wan's shoes and be like the mystic.
Yeah.
He shows up
Yeah.
in the robe and saves the day, gets Han.
And he does it in a spectacular fashion, too. You remember when he goes to get Han Solo and he's, like, all, like, he's got his hands behind his back, trying to be all peaceful and shit, and he's like, all right, motherfucker, you want me to show you how to fuck? It's on. Like, and that's what happens,
You're
too.
gonna try and feed me to this Rancor? Fuck
Mm-mm.
you.
Mm-mm.
Fuck you. I ain't staying in this pit. I'll just force jump out of here.
I'll be on my way.
Never felt as sad as I did for the animal handler when the Rancor died.
Oh, yeah.
You could feel the heartbreak.
You gotta remember, it's not just about the light side and the dark side of the Force, everybody. There's people involved outside of this war. And outside
There's
of
real
this battle.
lives. People just
one of the few human moments
trying
that
to
they
farm
decide
moisture.
randomly plug in.
It's
people
not
just trying to
about the
farm
drink.
moisture, man.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
Anything else from the return that particularly made it sink in as that
I just,
end all?
I mean, I've always been a fan of master opuses or requiems. I was never, an example is, I was never really that big of a fan of the Metal Gear Solid series, but I love Metal Gear Solid 4 because it brought everything together in this grand experience. And now the 5's out, and it's really, really interesting, but it's not.
We'll just leave
it's kind of
Fallout
the
out
same
of this
thing.
too, because
And Fallout is, and that's all that's been on my mind.
Fallout's
for the last
taking 15% of Pornhub's traffic.
yeah. Let's not forget the important numbers here, guys. You know, Pornhub has like bills to pay and shit. They need these ad views bad.
I remembered when the prequels came out, and I saw each of them in theaters, which I felt really privileged too. But also that kind of when you see a movie in theater, it kind of takes away from you got people around you.
Yeah.
Whereas if you got just like the VHS or DVD, then you could just sit in your dark room with just your TV on and
It's a special
immerse
story just
yourself.
for me.
Just for me, yeah.
Yeah, it's more intimate.
But the thing, in terms of the prequels, I also remember liking the third one the most. Not just because of the coming of age story, but also because like we're wrapping it up. You know, this is what happens, and then we're left with sort of a void that it gets like filled in with some books, right? There's
novelizations that fill in there, which are now non-canon, but the
okay,
yeah,
Thanks, Lucas.
you don't really see the missing years between Vader's Anakin's fall, which then becomes Vader's rise,
and Luke's birth,
and yeah, and Luke's coming of age, and stumbling into the Force, essentially.
Maybe we just acknowledge
they
that.
do
I mean, at the end of 3, Luke gets born. At the beginning of A New Hope, he's on his farm.
Yeah.
I mean, those are the two moments we see in his life.
Yeah. It's like Jesus.
Luke!
Yeah, you get
we
baby
killed
Jesus,
your parents.
and then you get 30-year-old Jesus. And there's nothing in between.
That's not a half bad allegory, is it?
No, it's really
That's
not.
beautiful, guys. I don't know about you guys, but that was, oh my god. I can't sleep tonight knowing this.
And then, essentially, between the Return of the Jedi and the Force Awakens, is that same kind of empty period where you don't see any figure spearheading the Force usage. And so
anyway, now that I've tangented off of what's my favorite, I feel like I would have to say, in spite of the fact that when I finally went back and watched Empire Strikes Back, I still had a deep fondness in my heart for Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
And I don't, maybe there's like a father figure issue thing going on here, but
Hey, you know what? It was really awesome
Journey's End, the wrap
to see father and son kill Emperor Palpatine.
That's true.
Yeah,
Palpatine's the fucking...
maybe that was it, seeing Vader in his last moment,
remembering who he was.
And you know, I mean, I don't know if any of you guys watched or liked Tron Legacy.
Yes.
Never saw it, actually.
I was quite.
You need to
happy
watch
with
it. It's amazing.
There's that.
A lot of people give it flack for curvy light cycles, but fuck them because curvy light cycles are awesome.
Yeah, well, I fight for the users was such a beautiful moment. I mean, there was no one else in that theater in that moment for me. It was me, the screen, and the tingle up my spine and the sweats I started to get from the emotion.
Those are called nerd feels, bro.
I was talking about this last time, too. Watching the Revenge of the Sith, I definitely got tingles. Like, every time.
Especially when his eyes turn, like, yellow.
The Force tingles.
No, man, it's called nerd feels, man. Or nerd chills.
And call Oxford.
And, it's really... the emotive moments can be particularly powerful in Star Wars, and I think that's going to be... There's going to be a lot of that, and it's partially because so many of us, grew up watching these movies. And for the kids who are going to be seeing them for the first time, they won't necessarily get quite as much nerd tingles. It's just going to be this awesome movie that I'm going to see. But then this will be the Star Wars that they grow up with.
Theoretically, though. No, I mean, go ahead.
Oh, well, no. I was going to go on to mine, but you finish.
Theoretically.
I'm sorry, Vox.
No, it's fine.
I can finish.
But it's...
I was avoiding that.
But where I feel like I think I just lost my train of thought. Thanks, Buzz.
What the fuck, man?
You're welcome.
Darn.
It's okay. I was hoping to avoid saying mine. I'm ready for the hate.
Okay.
All right.
I feel it flowing already.
We're going to channel the dark side at you.
Episode 1.
What?
I expected to.
Now, here's my main...
Like, did
now,
pod
I
racing
do
really give you that
like-
much of a stiffy?
Well, when my introduction to Star Wars when I was a kid was Episode 1. That was my introduction to Star Wars. It was the first Star Wars movie I ever saw. I knew about Star Wars when I was a kid, but watching it, I actually was quite pleased by the first movie for what it does with setting up essentially all the movies. It does start the plot line. I found that it starts the plot line and it puts it at a point where at the end of episode 1, with Qui-Gon being killed, Obi-Wan now becoming what's going to be Anakin's master, and you see the beginning connections to everyone as the story that becomes this major thing. That was a major thing to my parents when they saw it when they were much younger.
14-year-old queen hitting on a boy half her age.
Oh. Is it half? I think it's 8. Like, that's solidly a year above half. Like, it's a 6-year difference. Depending on where you are in the galaxy, that's still legal.
Yeah, to be fair, this was a different culture in a different...
So instead of marrying off young girls, they marry off young boys?
And it is stuff we still sometimes see on the news today.
Yeah, and also in, like, other works of art, like, fucking... Law and Order SVU and
well, and
fucking
you said works of art. That was not what I expected.
Well, you guys don't like Law and Order?
They have some good writers.
They do actually.
But also, when you
kudos
come
to
down
Dick
it,
Wolf.
Just to poke fun at your age thing, I have seen bigger age differences in couples that I have met in real life.
I mean, no, don't get me wrong. My parents are more than 7 years apart, but they didn't meet when they were.
Yeah, but
pre-teen.
we're not talking about that Padme was looking at, I'm going to get me a little bit of that preteen boy toy action. Like, I know that there hasn't been any drop-in yet. So.
Wait, I have a theory.
Right, so
Yeah,
essentially,
right
Anakin has a crush on his babysitter.
Wait, but I have a
And then
theory.
he grows up and impregnates her.
No, but he used the Force on her. Like, at that age, he was like, she's kind of cute. Yo, we should hang out later.
Oh, you think it was Jedi mind trick?
Yeah, Netflix and chill.
Or
This
it
is
could- or it could-
this is
awkward
the
realm of
Netflix and
coercion.
chill you're looking
just-
for.
It could just be the progressive increase in relationship from a people that have been together for years on end from a development standpoint of he has no one in his life. This person cares for him.
Okay. Yeah.
She is wonderful.
I have a question.
Yes.
And then I have a much stranger question that I'm can I ask later. But how did they not know it was twins? When Padme gets pregnant, they live in the fucking future.
Well, no, they
a long
live...
time ago.
Yeah.
No. Okay, a long fucking time ago, but also
More
this
advanced
society has had
more
like
advanced
50,000 years of advancement and has fucking spaceships
And then the Reaper
and
came.
flying cars and hyperspace travel.
The Reapers are real.
Regardless, though,
Reapers.
I'll say
Maybe
this.
she didn't
I'll
wanna
say this.
know.
Well,
She
yeah,
wanted it to be a surprise.
No, quite literally, if she never got anything to show them, like, was it a boy, was it a girl, is there more than one? Then yes, it would still be a surprise at the birthing if there had never been anything done before that.
But even if
And
you
she
don't
could've
find
been-
out
she
the
could've been
gender,
put into a
you still
massive
get an
amount.
ultrasound.
Well, but,
I right?
you got to remember, she's queen, so she could be like, no, get your fucking
No,
hands
she's
off.
not. At that point, she is not queen. She's only senator.
Oh, that's right, yeah. But I mean, still, she's a busy
Very
woman.
strange parliament.
And Anakin's like
Yeah,
off
no,
going...
I'll say it's something that could have easily been overlooked even by people, like just regularly.
Okay,
Not to mention, she could have been put into. I'm gonna say this now. A little bit of a stress of almost being killed by her husband on a distant planet filled with lava.
And plus,
She's in perfectly good health.
dude,
We
this
don't
was
know why she's
also
dying.
this was also a long
But-
time ago before Obamacare.
Forced. Like
So
premature.
Are you
birth
telling me that
and
even
twins.
a galactic senator can't afford health insurance?
No, but that motherfucker Dooku did.
They don't even have to pay the doctors anymore. They're robots.
And on top of that, actually, there is a...
You don't have to fucking pay robots.
I already have a theory. She
There-
was a person who preferred alternative methods.
Alternative.
Of prenatal care.
She's
She's
been
been smoking too much pot with those
Nothing
fucking
to
Jedi.
there's-
or
There-
machines.
is
The Gungan
actually a
ganja is
kind
good.
It's kind of a psychological thing. It's songbird. I think it's songbird syndrome or something like that. It's when a person loses somebody of significant importance to them, they actually their health.
This is true,
deteriorates.
actually.
It drops. And
There
if you
are
consider
species
Padme-
of birds that mate for life, and when their mate dies, they will just mourn and
they'll stop
fast
trying to live.
and not leave at all until they don't live anymore either.
At this point, she probably gave an early birth to twins, which birthing in and of itself is an extreme amount of stress upon the body.
Yeah.
2 of them could be a massive amount early for her because we don't know technically how far along she is.
I mean, based on
But
the fact that
at
both babies were healthy and able to survive
That puts
Pretty
them
much
about
right
7 to
away.
8 months.
Yeah,
if
I'm gonna
they're
go with-
early.
But could
mid-late third trimester, so
and
not,
depending on how fast she was able to get it administered to her. But at that same point, and then just the final thing is that if at that point she considered Anakin as already dead, she might have.
yep.
They
That's
say
what I'm
they
gonna go
say
with.
she gave up the will to live, and it quite literally can be a thing.
yeah.
People in a very weakened state can basically, if their body can stop just trying to live.
And then I want to make the argument as well that Anakin has been trying to find out how to keep people alive for basically the entire thing. Like, that's been his ultimate goal the entire time is, I don't want people to die. Which
Causes their death.
which could be argued to be the instigation of his fear in the first place, that eventually leads to his path down the dark side. His mother's passing, and his fear of losing anyone else, are things he just can't deal with. And so he freaks out, and through the cosmic force, because Padme says, I can't be with you anymore, he lashes out at her. And as someone, they're married. As lovers, they have a connection through the force. And because of the pain that he's in, and the magnification that he felt of that pain, and heartbreak, from both ends, they were just like, nope, can't do it anymore. Done. And then Padme loses the will to live, and his force powers have the opposite effect of what he's been trying to do this entire time.
I think that's a pretty fair synopsis. That whole connection to each other and the deterioration of him. Yeah, I think that's pretty fair, man.
And so we don't end on a terrible, sad note. I also have a special question. And that is, through the use of the physical force, can a Jedi make you crap your pants?
I don't see why not.
I think it gives a whole new meaning to force push.
You can squeeze. Oh.
I mean, even with Jedi mind tricks.
To grab someone by the throat and choke them with the Force, who's to say you can't just choose a different part of the digestive system to squeeze?
That's disgusting.
I mean,
I'm just being factual.
But is it...
this is the living force, so
do
it's
you
all
have to use,
connected.
like,
Force
both
doesn't
hands
arbitrarily only work
in
on
like a
necks.
milking fashion?
Yes.
Could
Could you force-
it's like, all right, so put on a glove, turn your head and cough, and I'm going to use the
goodness.
force.
I mean,
But I mean, think of the medical uses for this, man. Have you ever been constipated in your life?
oh my
And you just be like, boom! Yes! No more 20-minute poops, guys.
Fuck fiber, I've got the force.
Eat all the cheese you want, dude.
Non-practicing Jedis open up their own medical practice.
Oh boy, that could be scary.
Laser eye surgery.
That begs the
The
question.
implications
So
of force choke in that style.
Oh
anal probe.
god. Brothel.
Autoerotic exfoliation.
X4.
Oh my god.
And with that, I want to thank you guys for tuning in to another fantastic, fabulous episode of Blurcast. I'm Fuzzman. These are the nerds. And we will see you guys next week. In the meantime, don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, SoundCloud, and YouTube. Or you can visit our website, fuzzmansblurcast.com. Send us an email if you have any questions or commentary or something else you want to know about the Force. Fuzz.blurcast@gmail.com. Bye!
All right.